Let's watch a couple clips of JD Vance on Meet the Press where, like most Republicans, he flounders on the answer of how they'll fix the healthcare problem if it's not with Obamacare and what will their plan be. He does a little better than saying concepts, but it's still terrible, as they've long had no answers that are better than Obamacare, because the only answer would be a Medicare for all or single payer type system, and of course, Republicans are against that, but let's watch what he has to say.
We already have the concept of the plan. We'll be announcing that in about 2 months, maybe less.
Senator, can you clarify what is Donald Trump's health care plan?
Well, first of all, Kristen, let's back up a little bit to 2017, 2018, when Obamacare was actually collapsing under the weight of the regulatory burdens and collapsing under the weight of lack of funding. And Donald Trump had two choices. He could have destroyed the program, or he could actually build upon it and make it better so that Americans didn't lose a lot of health care. He chose to build upon a plan, even though it came from his Democratic predecessor. And I think it illustrates Donald Trump's entire approach to governing, which is to fix problems, even if he may have disagreed with the original legislation, to fix the American people's problems, not just to blow things up because it happened to be implemented by your predecessor. And frankly, I wish Kamala Harris would take a similar approach on things like the Abraham Accords.
Okay, we've got to stop here because this is just absolutely hilarious. Like, what a complete joke on all fronts. Trump undid the Iranian nuclear deal solely because it was done by Obama. That, and obviously because Miriam Adelson paid him to do so, despite the tremendous success that it was and how it normalized relations between a country that we really needed normalized relations with. Trump got rid of the individual mandates in Obamacare, which slightly raised the cost of healthcare and led to more people being without it. He added work requirements to Medicaid, again, leaving more people without health insurance, ended the cost-sharing subsidies, which put the funding in really dire straits. These are all the reasons why the level of uninsured people rose under Trump. The most important part of the ACA is the patient protections. Prior to it existing, pre-existing health conditions could get you denied health insurance coverage. You could have your insurance taken if you spent too much in a year fixing your problems, right? Getting healthcare. If you spent too much on healthcare, that you passed your lifetime maximums. Yes, lifetime maximums were a thing, and Trump did try to get all this repealed. The only reason he wasn't successful was because John McCain came in and refused to let that happen. So let's quit trying to rewrite history and pretend that he just wanted to build on Medicare. No, he tried to get rid of it at all costs and got rid of any part that he could get rid of. And the Abraham Accords is a joke. It left Palestinians out of negotiations and only furthered the tensions as they felt they weren't being heard. So why would she expand on something that helped rise the tensions in the Middle East to where they are today?
What President Trump's healthcare plan is actually quite straightforward. Is you want to make sure that pre-existing coverage conditions are covered. You want to make sure that people have access to the doctors that they need. And you also want to implement some deregulatory agendas so that people can choose a healthcare plan that fits them. Think about it. A young American doesn't have the same healthcare needs as a 65-year-old American. A 65-year-old American in good health has much different healthcare needs than a 65-year-old American with a chronic condition. We want to make sure everybody is covered, but the best way to do that is to actually promote some more choice in our healthcare system and not have a one-size-fits-all approach that puts a lot of people into the same insurance pools, into the same risk pools, that actually makes it harder for people to make the right choices for their families.
Senator, you mentioned Obamacare. 20 million people are currently getting their health care through Obamacare.
I wish he called him out on what he was saying here, because it is complete malarkey, which is my new favorite fill-in word for BS. You know, got to keep it PG-13, right? But insurance pools, as a quick rundown, let's say you have insurance A, along with 100 people who are in insurance A. The money you guys pay together monthly is pooled in one pool together. And if you need healthcare, depending on what you pay in, they will allot you a portion of money from that pool. The more you pay, obviously, these insurance will let you pull out more, because then they're making more, and they're always going to try to keep a certain percent of this pool from you to keep for themselves as profit. This is why in private insurance, you will get denied certain procedures. They'll be deemed too expensive or unnecessary because the pool is too small for them to give you the funds and still have their profit. The more people you have paying into a pool, the more money is available for everyone in that pool, which is why Medicare having 20 million something people paying in is better for seniors than having 20 different plans with only 1 million people paying into each. And it's also why single payer healthcare is the way to go for everyone. But, you know, again, we'll work on that in a second Kamala term. But also, younger people already pay less than older people for healthcare in this country. And you have to think 80% of healthcare costs are paid for by 20% of people. If we separate this into age pools, as he seems to be suggesting here, the cost for the older groups that rely on, have to pay more for this healthcare or have higher costs for healthcare is going to insanely skyrocket and be unmanageable for so many of them who probably aren't working, especially once you get up to like 65 plus, leaving tons of them without healthcare. So these people are just literally lying about what health insurance is because it's complicated and complex and a lot of people don't understand it. So they're just lying about how it works. And if you take those less likely to get sick out of the risk pool, it literally destroys the pool and the entire purpose of these things existing. The whole point of that pool is to distribute the risk among those in it so it's not unmanageable for some, as you're going to be on both sides of this equation at different points in your life. Obviously, as a 27-year-old, you're going to be at less risk for needing like high cost of health insurance. But as you get older, your risk is going to increase. So you spend part of your life in the low risk and part of your life in the high risk, but it's balanced out among everyone. So you never really feel that difference as you age. This is what's good for Americans. It's what's good, especially for our seniors. And trying to take that away is literally damning seniors into living without health care.